How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. You're about to witness the scariest videos that have hit the internet this week. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content. Just like this. Dashcam footage from Avondale, Arizona has gone viral after viewers spotted something unnerving lurking on the side of the road. The clip was captured on Lower Buckeye Road, an area locals say already has a reputation for strange sightings, especially at night. As the car cruises down the dark highway, a shape suddenly appears on the right-hand side. When slowed down, it looks like some kind of crouching figure, humanoid but distorted, almost as if it's watching the passing vehicles. Commenters familiar with the area claim it's not the first time something strange has been seen there. One user said, "I pass through here every day. The amount of stuff I've seen, the fact they have no city lights through here tells you everything." Others weren't so calm. Some swore they'd never drive Lower Buckeye at night again. So what exactly is this figure? A trick of the light? A person caught mid-step? A stray animal distorted by motion blur? Or something else entirely? TikTok user ShayShay3280 recently went viral after capturing some unsettling footage while babysitting. Shay was filming a perfectly innocent video of the child she was watching for the evening. Nothing out of the ordinary, just a cute moment. But then viewers noticed something in the background, something Shay hadn't seen at the time. Near the doorway, impossibly high up by the ceiling, a head with long dark hair slowly peeks around the corner. The head lingers for a brief second, then slips back out of sight. The position of the figure, nearly at ceiling height, is what disturbed viewers the most. The clip exploded online, racking up more than 6 million views as people debated what the mysterious figure could be. A prank, a lurking intruder, or something not quite human? Hey gang, just a quick reminder that if you love your spooky clips short, sharp and weird, then you're going to love our Slapped Ham Shorts channel. It's a relatively new channel, it's quite small, it's only at 17k subs, but this is where we upload individual clips in short, sharp, quick bursts, usually a couple of minutes long. So we've got tons of shorts, tons of slightly longer videos, but always just one story at a time. So if you want to head on over, subscribe to our Slapped Ham Shorts channel, and we'll see you over there. Here's a quick and strange one captured during the Northern Ireland Open snooker tournament. As the player lines up his shot, everything looks perfectly normal until something odd happens.
What?
I think he thought the red moved as he was about to play it.
It's extremely hard to notice on the first watch, but when you slow the footage down, you can clearly see it. The ball moves all on its own.
Just not controlling that cue ball well enough.
Lem. He's right, it did move.
Even the commentators sound confused.
Just Not controlling that cue wall well enough.
Lem.
He's right, it did move.
So was it a trick of physics, an air disturbance, or something nobody's figured out yet? Urbex Hill is one of the most well-known urban exploring channels on YouTube. Run by Chris Hill, the channel dives deep into abandoned buildings across North America, especially the forgotten, decaying structures of Cleveland, Ohio, where Chris grew up. In this episode, Chris explores an infamous stretch of East Cleveland known for its row of crumbling, deserted apartment blocks. One by one, he moves through each building, documenting the destruction left behind after decades of neglect. Slowly, he moves through the dark and eerie rooms. But then, things start getting strange. While moving through one of the buildings, something happens. The door behind him suddenly moves, seemingly all on its own. It's subtle, but undeniably eerie. Chris keeps exploring until he reaches a hallway lined with old padlocked rooms. And this is where the creepiest moment of the video happens. If you slow the footage down and zoom in, you can see what looks like a figure in one of the locked rooms. Chris didn't notice it while filming, only later while editing the footage. Eventually, Chris finishes his exploration and leaves the neighborhood, completely unaware that he may not have been alone. TikTok user Roselyn422 went mega viral earlier this year after posting an unsettling moment caught during a late-night video call with her husband. The clip shows her lying in bed the night after her uncle passed away. Everything seems normal at first until something strange happens. Her hair suddenly lifts, as if someone gently tugged at it. The video exploded online, reaching more than 18 million views, with thousands of commenters convinced she had caught a paranormal moment on film. In a follow-up story time, Rosalind explained exactly why they were recording in the first place.
We were recording simply because my husband seen my hair do it the first time, and he was like, "Your hair is moving." And at first I was like, "No, it's not." Like, I couldn't feel it.
Her husband had already seen her hair move once, off camera. Thinking he was imagining it, he started recording, and it happened again. She also cleared up accusations that she was moving her own hair. She shows her hand placement, explains she was heavily pregnant and physically unable to be lying on her stomach, and notes that the movement happened at the top of her head, not a place she could have reached undetected. Rosalind admits the moment terrified her, but for her own peace of mind, she chose to believe it was her uncle stopping by one last time. The situation unfolding around the Houston bayous has become one of the strangest and most unsettling real-world mysteries of the past year. Dozens of bodies have been recovered from waterways across the city: Buffalo Bayou, Brays Bayou, White Oak Bayou, and several others, with 23 bodies found this year alone and 39 over the last 12 months.
This is the 7th such discovery in just the past month. Divers pulled the man's body out of the bayou yesterday morning near White Oak Drive and Gladys Street. This marks the 23rd body recovered from a Houston area bayou this year.
Police insist there's no serial killer, pointing instead to accidents, drownings, suicides, and homelessness. But with 2/3 of the deaths still listed as undetermined, and with the hot, humid environment destroying evidence before investigators can analyze it, many Houstonians are convinced. Into this confusion comes a new wave of fear. Eyewitness reports of a mysterious creature spotted near the bayous. Instagram creator Shine Bright With Star began compiling these accounts after one user claimed they'd seen some kind of animal-human creature on Hirsch Road, describing it as huge, black-eyed, and capable of leaping across the entire street before diving into the water.
This animal creature thing was huge. It did have big black eyes. It jumped 3 feet from the circle here, then it jumped to here. This creature looked both ways, and it jumped into the water.
After that post, dozens of Houstonians came forward with their own stories.
Many of you guys have also seen something very strange in the Houston areas. From Southeast Houston to North Houston to West Houston. There may be something lurking in the Houston area.
One woman said she watched a tall, shadow-like figure crawl across the rooftops near Chimney Rock, stretching its arm from one building to the next before pulling itself over.
And she said, "Girl, that must be a giant," because she was far away and it still looked huge.
Another recalled a story her older brother told, skipping school in the 90s and stumbling across a massive creature deep in the woods by the bayou. Something he could only describe as a giant black man-shaped figure, unlike anything he'd ever seen.
And he told her that that's the only thing that he could describe it as, or something similar.
And these aren't isolated comments, and they're coming from different parts of the city, different dates, different people, all describing similar sightings. So between the unusually high number of bodies, the lack of answers, and now a growing archive of eyewitness reports, one has to wonder, is something lurking in the Houston bayous? Here's a strange one out of Chile's Patagonia. In January 2025, a wildlife camera trap, part of a University of Magallanes project, captured 3 rapid photos showing brilliant lights descending toward the camera. The trap was deep in wilderness, far from roads or towns, and had taken over 365,000 images with nothing like this before. Researchers immediately ruled out hoaxes due to strict protocols. Experts examined the photos, aviation authorities, atmospheric scientists, even the La Serena UFO Museum, but no one agreed on an explanation. Some suggested an insect near the lens triggered the camera. but that still doesn't explain the intense moving light. Others proposed a plasmoid, a rare natural plasma similar to ball lightning, yet there were no storms or conditions that could produce one. The local Mapuche people have long described mysterious bad lights drifting across the fields, raising the possibility that this camera captured a long-reported regional phenomenon. One analysis suggested that if the object was distant, it may have been moving at nearly 600 miles per hour. Another suggested two events occurred at once, an insect triggering the sensor, and an unexplained light appearing in the distance. Investigators are now planning field research at the site, hoping the phenomenon returns during the project's next 10 years of monitoring. For now, what the camera saw remains unknown. Natural plasma, atmospheric anomaly, or something we haven't categorized yet.
I just want to preface by saying, anytime I tell this story to someone new, they never believe me. Even when I show them the photo, they're like, that was edited, that's not real.
Here's a chilling ghost story from TikTok user Jordan De Pascal, and this one comes with a photo that's hard to explain.
The photo was not doctored in any way, shape, or form. This happened a decade ago, and I've been telling the same story and showing the same photo to my friends and family for the past decade. So I promise you this is not fake.
Jordan says the encounter happened about a decade ago, back when she and her now husband were students in Delonega, Georgia, an old gold rush town full of history and ghost stories. One night, they joined a guided ghost tour around campus. Jordan had been casually snapping photos throughout the tour, but when they arrived at one particular house, she suddenly felt a strange urge to step away from the group and take a picture. She walked about 20 feet to the left, alone. Her husband, still with the group, watched her break away. No one was near her, no animals, no people, nothing. Later, scrolling through her photos, Jordan froze. There, clear as day in the bottom left corner, was a face. She showed the guide, who was stunned. There was simply no one standing beside her when the picture was taken. Jordan insists the image is untouched, and she's shown the same photo for over a decade, always met with the same disbelief. But the night didn't end there. When she and her husband returned to their car, parked in a public lot, the passenger door was wide open and every light inside the vehicle was on. Nothing was stolen, nothing was disturbed. The door was just open.
And I get up there and my purse is in the front seat, just nothing had been taken. The door was just wide open and the lights were on for no reason. And we definitely did not leave it that way. So that was weird.
Jordan says they definitely hadn't left it that way, and after seeing that photo, she can't shake the feeling that something followed them. Here's a strange claim making waves in both physics circles and spiritual communities. The idea that human consciousness might not come from the brain at all, but from hidden dimensions of the universe. Physicist Dr. Michael Pravica, a Harvard-trained researcher who specializes in high-pressure science and X-ray spectroscopy, believes consciousness could be rooted in dimensions beyond the four we experience: height, width, depth, and time. To explain the concept, Pravica uses a simple analogy. Imagine a two-dimensional being, flat, like a character in a comic strip. If a three-dimensional sphere passed through that world, that 2D creature wouldn't see the sphere. They'd only see a dot appear and grow, then shrink and disappear. In other words, higher dimensional events might already be happening around us, we just don't have the senses to perceive them. And here's where Pravica's ideas become controversial. He believes that human consciousness might actually originate from these hidden dimensions, occasionally breaking through during moments of deep creativity, dream states, scientific insight, or profound spiritual experiences. According to him, the fact that we can imagine dimensions beyond the four we see is a special gift. It goes beyond just biology. Pravica, an Orthodox Christian, even suggests that hyperdimensionality could explain certain biblical events, including the idea that Jesus might have been a hyperdimensional being. He points to passages describing the ascension. According to the Bible, Jesus rose into heaven 40 days after being on earth. How do you ascend into heaven if you're a four-dimensional creature? But if you're able to step in and out of higher dimensions, Pravika argues, such a transition could be effortless, like a 3D sphere sliding out of a 2D world. These ideas blend into modern physics theories as well. String theory, one of the leading candidates for a unified picture of the universe, already requires multiple hidden dimensions for tiny vibrating strings to create the particles and forces we observe. Pravika suggests these same hidden dimensions might explain why space-time curves, why gravity behaves the way it does, and how consciousness seems to operate beyond physical limits. Of course, not everyone agrees. Physicist Stephen Holler, an atheist and professor at Fordham University, calls Pravika's conclusions an extreme logical jump, warning that filling scientific gaps with spiritual explanations can stall curiosity. He points out that even the Large Hadron Collider, the world's most powerful particle accelerator, can't access the energy needed to probe higher dimensional strings, meaning there's currently no concrete evidence these dimensions exist at all. But the debate widens when others weigh in. Billionaire Robert Bigelow, who spent tens of millions researching consciousness and life after death, believes our awareness can detach from the body entirely.
In fact, you can have, out-of-body experiences induced artificially. And I learned that from the Air Force General.
Oh.
Yeah.
In an interview with Jeffrey Mishlove, Bigelow describes a US Air Force general who experienced an out-of-body episode during a G-force blackout in a centrifuge.
So his personal experience was that he had an out-of-body experience he couldn't explain.
He claimed he saw his own body from above, walking, talking, and even hearing conversations he shouldn't have been able to hear.
He gets out of the capsule, the centrifuge, and he's not in his body anymore. His body is still in the process of getting out and stepping onto the platform, but he's up above his body and he's watching himself walk down the hallway. And he's aware of what's going on in rooms alongside this hallway. He's aware of people. He's hearing conversations and so forth, but he shouldn't be able to hear.
This phenomenon, known officially as G-lock, has been studied by NASA and the military for decades. Some experiments conducted in centrifuges reportedly produced vivid out-of-body experiences in multiple pilots, raising questions about what exactly leaves the body during blackout events. Declassified CIA documents on the gateway process add yet another layer. These papers propose that consciousness isn't made by the brain at all, but is something separate, a non-physical field that interacts with the body the way a signal interacts with a radio. In other words, according to the report, the brain might not produce consciousness, it might just receive it. So where does that leave us? If Pravika is correct, consciousness could be the part of us that already exists beyond space and time, a hyperdimensional phenomenon that only occasionally shines through into physical life. Skeptics say it's unnecessary complexity. Believers say it finally explains the mysteries of intuition, spirituality, and the strange moments humans have reported for thousands of years. So what do you make of it? Is consciousness just a product of neurons, or could it really come from dimensions hidden just beyond our senses?
You got that white and black dog, right?
Here's a deeply unsettling encounter that left one homeowner terrified inside her own home. It began as an ordinary evening. The house was quiet, nothing seemed out of place. But when the homeowner checked her security camera, she realized someone else was watching too. And this stranger wasn't just listening, they were talking.
Who's that? It's none of your business, don't move.
The first thing it says is chillingly direct. Hey, don't move.
Hey, don't move.
What?
Hey, don't move.
Startled, the woman asks who's speaking.
It's none of your business, don't move.
It's not
Hey,
my
I need you to answer me
business.
something right now.
You didn't put my camera. Who's this? I mean, who's
I need you to
talking?
answer some questions right now. Don't move.
From there, the tone becomes more aggressive.
Don't make me laugh. Who are you? Is this a joke?
Then things take an even stranger turn. The voice begins asking whether she drives a pink Camaro, repeating the question over and over with mounting insistence.
Who are you?
Do you drive the pink Camaro?
Who are you?
Do you drive the pink Camaro?
How do you know? Who are you?
Yes or no? Do you drive the pink Camaro?
Who are you? It's not your business what I drive. Who are you?
It is my business.
The homeowner, now clearly frightened, tries to push back. She warns the intruder that she'll call the police and tells them to leave her alone. But the voice doesn't stop.
I'm asking you a serious question.
You don't have to tell me from my camera. I'm going to call the police. Go away and leave me alone.
It's none of their business. It's our business.
Go away and leave me alone. What are you doing in front of my camera?
Instead, it becomes even more unnerving. The stranger claims to know everything about her life, when she leaves the house, when she sleeps, even what she eats.
I know what you do. I know the times you leave. I know the times y'all sleep. I know what you eat. I know
Oh,
everything.
really?
I know the whole entire pattern. So get in front of the camera and let me see you.
The clip has since spread across social media, with viewers shocked by how easily a home camera can be hijacked by someone with the right tools or the wrong intentions. Experts warn that unsecured smart devices are a growing target for hackers, and incidents like this are becoming increasingly common. Others, however, think there's more to it. Was the intruder someone who knew the homeowner personally? Was the mention of the pink Camaro a clue or a threat? And how long had this person been watching her without her knowing?
I know what you do. I know the times you leave. I know the times y'all sleep. I know what you eat. I know
Oh,
everything.
really?
I know the whole entire pattern. So get in front of the camera and let me see you.
So what do you think happened here? A random hack or something far more targeted and unsettling?
You gotta confess, or you'll see. Or you're about to see. Don't make me.
You know where I go? I'm going to call the police.
Don't make me. You don't push me there. You wanna push me there?
Here's some eerie dashcam footage captured late at night.
¿Cómo? ¿Qué hay allá? ¿Eso no es lo que es? Papá, pero ¿qué hay ahí? ¿Eso qué es? Ay, empezó a moverse.
The couple was slowly driving past the aftermath of a roadside accident when something strange crossed their path.
Algo pasó ahí. Algo pasó ahí. ¿Qué es lo que hay allá, César? ¿Cómo? ¿Qué hay allá? ¿Eso no es lo que es? Papá, pero ¿qué es lo que hay ahí? ¿Qué es? Ay, empezó a moverse. Ay, empezó a moverse. Papá, ¿qué pasó?
As they inch forward, the dashcam picks up something lingering near the edge of the road.
¿Eso qué es? ¿Eso qué es? Mire, como pasó la moto. Pasó voladísimo.
The figure moves across the road.
Dios mío, señor, mire, mire. Se desapareció. Espere, papá, espere. Mire.
Moments later, the figure disappears into the bushes, dissolving into the darkness as though it was never there at all.
Espere, papá, ¿qué hizo? Se desapareció, se prenda la luz y se desapareció. Se prenda. ¿Qué está haciendo?
The clip has quickly gone viral, with thousands of viewers weighing in. A growing number of commenters believe the figure looks eerily like La Muerte, the Grim Reaper, silently crossing the road to claim the souls involved in the crash.
Se la meten al carro. ¿Eso qué es? Dios mío, señor, mire. Se desapareció. Espere, papá, espere. Mire. Los carros. Grabe la pata y grabe eso. Sí, los carros. Espere, papá, ¿qué es eso? Espere.
Before we get to part 3 of our in-depth look at the screaming skulls of England, remember to help us out by giving this episode a thumbs up, leaving some comments below and sharing it on your socials. This is part 3 of our deep dive into the strange and long-standing tradition of England's screaming skulls. Today we're heading to the windswept hills of Derbyshire, to a lonely farmhouse so steeped in legend, locals still whisper its name. This is the story of Dickie of Tunstead Farm, perhaps the most famous guardian skull of the entire Peak District. Tunstead Farm lies on the slopes of Combs Edge between Chapel en la Frith and Whaley Bridge. Hidden among a small cluster of houses known as Tunstead Milton, the farmhouse sits exposed on the high ground, battered by winds, surrounded by ancient moorland, and known locally by a single unsettling nickname, Skull Farm. For more than 3 centuries, the skull of a mysterious figure, affectionately called Dickie or Dick, was kept inside its walls, not as a curiosity, but as a protector. Local tradition insists that Dickie acted as a guardian spirit watching over the land, the livestock, and the family who lived there. Visitors in the 1800s and 1900s described him as a genius loci, a supernatural presence tied to the very foundations of the farm. And according to those who lived with him, Dickie didn't stay quiet. Residents claimed the skull would knock or rap when strangers approached the property. He was said to wake the farmer if a cow fell ill. In one account, Dickie reportedly roused a man in the middle of the night, just in time to save a cow whose chain had wrapped around its neck. Folklorist Christina Hole visited in 1938 and was told that Dickie still warns the family whenever anything goes wrong in the farmstead or field. Another early writer noted that doors would often open to his hand, and that he had done many good offices for the household. But the warnings came with a condition: the skull had to stay. If anyone removed Dickie from the farm, the consequences were immediate. Cows died, crops failed, storms battered the property. Witnesses even claimed to see a woman's ghost or a black spectral dog roaming the grounds, signs of Dickie's displeasure. But Dickie's most legendary tale doesn't involve a ghostly apparition at all. It involves the railway. In the 1860s, engineers from the London and North Western Railway tried to lay a new line between Whaley Bridge and Buxton. Their planned route passed dangerously close to Tunstead Farm, right through Dickie's territory. Almost immediately, the work fell apart. Foundations collapsed, bridges failed overnight, tools were swallowed by unstable quicksand and bog. Engineers could make no progress. Locals had an explanation: Dickie didn't want the line built here. Eventually, the company diverted the railway onto higher ground, bypassing the farm entirely. The resulting structure became known as Dickie's Bridge. The incident was so well known that poet Samuel Laycock published a song called An Address to Dickie in 1863, jokingly praising the skull for defeating the railway company. But as with many guardian skulls, the question remains: whose skull was it? Several competing stories exist. One popular tale says the skull belonged to Ned Dixon, a soldier from the farm who fought in France during the Huguenot Wars. According to this version, Ned returned home only to be murdered by jealous relatives. His bones refused to rest until his skull was placed inside the house. But historians believe this story was likely a 19th century invention, written to satisfy tourists hungry for a dramatic legend. Earlier accounts paint a very different picture. Writers in 1809 and 1852 recorded that locals believed the skull belonged to a woman, one of 2 sisters who quarrelled over a lover. In this tale, the murdered sister vowed that her bones would never rest unless her skull remained in the staircase window at Tunstead Farm. And then there's the most intriguing theory of all. A surgeon who examined the skull before 1940 concluded it belonged to a young woman around 18. Historian William Brailsford Bunting later proposed that the skull didn't belong to any known resident at all, but came from a prehistoric barrow on the moor above the farm. Cadster, a nearby site, contains cairns and a possible Bronze Age stone circle. It's entirely possible the skull was removed centuries ago from one of these ancient burial mounds, and somehow became enshrined in local tradition as a protective relic. Dickie remained in the farmhouse until the mid-20th century. But when the property changed hands in the 1940s, the tradition began to fade. The skull itself crumbled with age. By the 1970s, curious visitors constantly sought it out, and one new owner, tired of the attention, secretly buried the remains in the garden on the advice of a pastor. No one knows the skull's whereabouts today. Its resting place is lost. But for centuries, Dickie of Tunstead Farm was more than just a bone behind a wall. He was a guardian, a sentinel, and, if you believe the stories, a force that shaped the very landscape around him. So what do you think? Was Dickie a relic of ancient ritual, a misunderstood piece of local archaeology, or something far stranger that watched over the moors of Derbyshire for hundreds of years? Now, if you want to see some more spooky content, then hit those links right there. They'll keep you entertained for hours and hours. Leave us some feedback down in the comments. Which one of these clips you thought was the scariest or weirdest? We love hearing your feedback. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.